Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Piledriver podcast. And tonight, I'm thrilled. I don't know how it's showing up on the screen, but on my screen, I got the voice of OCW on one side, the voice of Mega Championship Wrestling on the other side. What's up, boys? This is fantastic. I love this.
I am happy to be here once again. This is the guy who wears the bow tie, but not currently wearing one because, we got to be in casual wear because
Hey,
time.
The spooky season Freddy Krueger shirt's pretty freaking sweet.
Yeah, I mean, come on. We got to wear spooky season. It is Josh Gjonaj. So I'm happy to be back here with you, Mike. Great seeing you as always.
Paulie, the Hammer. My guy, how are you? It's been a long time. I think we lost Paul. Oh, there he is. Now he's back. Yeah, we froze.
There he is.
I believe this is Victory Monday for the Browns again. So
it is Victory Monday. So we pulled out a squeaker today. So we pulled out a squeaker. I'm not even mad about it.
That's going to be Cleveland Browns football all season long, I think.
Not mad at it. I'll take it. A win's a win's a win. But let's jump into this. I'm super glad to have you guys. We got a giant event coming this weekend to Cleveland, Ohio. The NWA presents Samhein live. I believe where's it? The Masonic Temple, correct? Yes.
I believe so, yes.
The Masonic Temple. I've been there for an AIW show once. Great venue. So I'm pretty excited about it. Lots of crazy matches. We got I don't even know what some of these matches are. Like, I don't know if you guys remember when, like, Bray Wyatt said they were going to do the pitch black match and stuff like that, or the swamp match, whatever he called it, Paulie. You remember? We were all like, what the hell is that?
From Extreme Rules back during the pandemic, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just going to start off with this match, and we can just talk about it and maybe get some ideas. The NWA National Heavyweight Championship is on the line in a Burning Lake Brawl. What the hell is a Burning Lake Brawl?
I would imagine it's going to be near the Cuyahoga River.
Who really knows, honestly?
I mean, the champion, the Thrillbilly Silas Mason. I've only seen this gentleman one time, and let me tell you, if you've seen Paxton Calloway, he is about that size. He's going one-on-one with a guy that we're familiar with. I mean, if you're a wrestling fan, you're pretty familiar with him. He had a challenge in the big-time wrestling ring for a lot of years that nobody could ever break. Chris Adonis going against the Thrillbilly. I mean, these are two pretty big guys, and in a match that potentially could be outside next to the Cuyahoga River or Lake Erie.
The masterpiece. Size could be an advantage, but hey, nothing can stop Chris Adonis, really. But who knows? Whatever this match is going to happen.
It took him a lot of years. Like I said, it took a lot of years for somebody to break that master lock. It was, Paulie, do you know? You got that on the top of your head? I know that you're
Wasn't it Bobby Lashley?
I know it was Bobby Lashley. Do you know how long it was? Was it like a year or like how many people?
I don't remember. I want to say it was like 18 months because it ran for a while.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I didn't know if they ran it for like a time frame on months or like how many people he couldn't break it. Like if he hit 157 people or some shit like that before Bobby broke it.
No, I think it was the time was the thing that they were harping on because nobody ever could. And then Lashley just came in and looked like he'd been doing it all his life.
I mean,
which pretty much
Bobby Lashley
ended the master lock. Yeah.
Another match again. This one, don't know what to even think about it. It could be anything. I don't know what this means. I've never heard of this before. But when the Insane Clown Posse is involved, anything is possible.
Yep.
A riddle box match. The
only person.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Josh. I was gonna say the only person that knows, that's going to be in big boxes, small boxes, medium boxes, any size boxes, is Billy Corgan. So who knows what could be in it?
The Brothers of Funstruction and ICP member Violent J in a 6-man tag team match against La Rebellion and Vampiro. Me personally, stoked as hell to see Vampiro. I'm a little worried because I've seen all this stuff with Vampiro, but like for the chance to maybe like shake his hand before the show if he's like hanging out at a table. I mean, I shook Matt Cardona's hand. What happened? It could happen. Vampiro's a legend in my book, like legend. So that's super cool that he's in attendance just for that purpose alone.
And let's not forget, Vampiro and Violent J, they have history together. So,
oh yeah, they've done this multiple times. I'm not familiar with the Brothers of Funstruction or La Rebellion, so I'll have to do a little research before this weekend. Paulie, do you have any insight into the Brothers of?
Do not have anything on that one, but it sounds entertaining as hell.
It does sound fun. Like I like part of me wants, like Josh said, there could be big boxes, little boxes, small boxes. Part of me wants that long, elongated ones that that there's like, it looks like it's shaped like a kendo stick. You know what I'm saying? But then like a giant hammer, like a Harley Quinn hammer comes out of it because, Brothers of Funstruction. That'd be sweet.
I hope one of the boxes has like a Smashing Pumpkins vinyl record to smash over somebody's head.
That would be phenomenal. I don't know if you listened to the podcast last week, Paulie, but your boy got to fist bump Billy Corgan. It was fucking cool.
Is he? The top 4 promoters in all of North America in professional wrestling?
He was right there.
That's
He
huge.
jumped out of the ring right in front of me. I just threw it up. Bam. Look,
Hey,
it's crazy because look, Paulie, while you say it like that, the 90s kid in me is like, I just fist bumped the lead singer of the Smashing fucking Pumpkins, dog. Like,
listen, who knows? Mike could be in one of the boxes. Who knows?
that would be sweet. What if I just popped up? Popped on our podcast.
I feel like we'd know because the box wouldn't stop talking.
That's true. That's true.
I'm in a box.
This one, Paulie, you might be able, or Josh might be able to give me some insight as to what this match could entail. The NWA World Junior Heavyweight Championship is on the line as the champ Colby Corino defends against Joe Alonzo in a pillar to post match. Anything? I heard post match, so you got to touch all the turnbuckles. Like, what was that, strap match?
Yeah, like a strap match or a Texas bull rope.
Bull rope,
Okay.
yeah.
Bull rope, that's what it is, where you got to touch all the turnbuckles.
I mean, beating somebody from pillar to post basically means you beat them until they can't stand, as far as I would think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So this could be like a last man standing maybe kind of match deal, or I don't know. I've never heard of these matches. I'm excited.
I don't think the NWA has either until they looked at this card and went, how do we come up with a Halloween themed show in Cleveland, right?
A
lot of the stuff you're like, holy crap, I don't know what this is.
I'm about it.
It is spooky season for a reason. And then Colby Corino, who's the son of the king of old school, Steve Corino.
Dude,
so that's
100%.
One thing. Like, a lot of people who like sleeps on Colby Corino. Colby has been killing it. With him, like being there's another company name dropping it. Deadlock Pro Wrestling. He did a loser leaves match. Yeah, Colby came off short, but now he's coming back and he's making a name for himself, which is amazing to see for Colby Corino.
Didn't the GYV just show up there over the weekend at Deadlock Pro Wrestling? I saw they showed up somewhere. I can't remember where. I think Tim shared it. I think the Infinite Man shared it. Yeah.
Crap. Does that mean I have to take my shoes off?
But speaking, like you said, of being the son of Steve Corino, the next match, I'm just going to assume that they just threw this on here because of the opponents and who's going on to keep the theme. The Rock and Roll Tag Team match. We have the Southern Six, which with the dad, with Kerry Morton's dad, rock and roll legend, Ricky Morton's in the building for NWA Samhein. I'm excited. Like, little kid in me is like, yay. You know, like, and then not only is the Southern Six in the match with Rock and Roll Express, I get a tag team, probably one of my favorite tag teams, if we're being 100% honest, from the Attitude Era, because the Headbangers, Mosh and Thrasher, were awesome. They were fucking cool. They came out in the kilts. They, headbanged, and they didn't have no hair. And now I don't have any hair, so we connect on a level.
Hold on, Mike. Mike, to cut you off, it's not a kilt. It's a skirt.
That's right.
Tough men wear skirts.
That's right.
As they say.
Oh,
as they say, tough men wear skirts. So you know what? It's attached. The Smash Mouth style that the bangers bring. They're gonna bring a fight, so they better be prepared.
Oh yeah, and I mean, but Southern Six is nobody to sleep on. We saw them get a victory at Exodus over NWA Heavyweight Champion and Rex Brody, and who else was it? Why am I'm farting right now. Son of a biscuit. Anyways, I saw them get a victory over EC3, the champion, and it wasn't nothing to slouch at. They're not slouches here. So I'm looking forward to this match. Again, going against, in my opinion, should be some Hall of Famers. Are the Headbangers in the Hall of Fame?
They are not.
Exactly. Should be Hall of Famers. Next match, this one, I'm not familiar with either one of these guys, but looking at the poster of them, the sheet of their match, both of these guys look like they beat they're going to beat the shit out of each other. Blake Troop with Chris Silvio Esquire versus Jax Dane in a submission match.
Oof. Submission matches are always tough because it tests the endurance and the toughness and the stamina of any person, male or female. Submission matches are generally the end of a feud, so you have to imagine that this is going to be pretty violent and pretty brutal.
That's what I said. Okay, so looking at, like I said, not familiar with either one of these guys. Blake Troop looks like he's an MMA fighter. Jax Dane looks like the muscle, like a big muscle guy from a biker gang. Like in this thing, he's got like a leather vest on and shit. They both look scary as shit. I'm not familiar. I just started watching Power. Like ever since Exodus, I got into the NWA. What do you want me to do? But again, I'm excited for this pay-per-view, especially coming to Cleveland. What? This was just added. I didn't see this. Holy shit. Okay. All right. Let's talk about this for a minute because there's a bunch of people in this match. The Samhein Devil's Last Dance Ultimate Hardcore Team War.
That sounds violent.
Oh my God.
And
Go ahead.
we got Max and Taylor in this, accompanied by Sinister Minister James Mitchell. James Mitchell, the name says it all. He's been managing people left and right from ECW, WCW, TNA, just to name a few of these places. The Sinister Minister, this has got to be a key for Team Max and Taylor, because James Mitchell could come up with so many strategy and be like, hey, this is what you got to do.
Yeah. I mean, and not only do you have Maxie and Taylor, you have Judeus, Magic Inc., Alex Misery on one side with CJ. But then on the other side, you have the newly crowned NWA TV champion, Big Strong Mims, Dak Draper, Koa Laxamana. I'm sorry if I ruined your name, bud. Gags the Gimp, and Sal the Pal with Callies. So in a ultimate hardcore team war, I can only imagine the tables, chairs, ladders, barbed wire. Max is coming with some crazy shit off the rip. So
Coffin.
That could potentially
Headstone.
Ooh, a headstone.
A shovel.
Somebody's getting buried.
You think so?
Potentially. That sounds like somebody's last rites, last stand.
I mean, I'll give you that. It does sound like some hardcore death war.
I mean, to be fair, this entire show does sound a little bit like a violent Best
I agree, and I was going to ask you about that, Paulie, because that is not your motif, so to speak. Paulie's not a big fan of like the Circle Six type action, Josh.
Nothing against Circle Six or
Yeah,
anybody.
no. Yeah, nothing. I love Circle Six. I mean, Paul, it's not for everybody, and Paulie's one of them that it's not for. He respects, but he doesn't want to come to Circle Six with us. Like that's his prerogative. That's cool. Paulie likes wrestling. Paulie doesn't like the death match. He likes old school technical wrestling.
I'm always a bit worried that I'm going to go to my first deathmatch show and take a glass shard to the face, and then my pretty complexion is toast.
And let's be 100% honest. When I went to Circle Six, light tubes were busted, and I had to go like this. So I get where you're coming from. We all got these eye protectors though. So
yeah, we got.
Yeah, so we should be solid.
Because none of us can afford LASIK.
Dude, I've been thinking about it, if we're being 100%. I've been thinking about it so bad because, like, I can see this glare right now in my screen, and it just kills me. Next match, we have the NWA World Tag Team Championships on the line in another match I'm not familiar with. I don't know if there's special stipulations to this, but it's called something. So the Knights of the Round Table match. Blunt Force Trauma, accompanied by the one and only Aaron Stevens, versus Knox and Murdoch.
And not to mention about Knox and Murdoch, correct me if I'm wrong here. I think they won the Crockett Cup of this year.
That sounds about right. Yeah,
I would say Paulie might. I wouldn't know that. Paulie would though.
And Murdoch, former NWA World Heavyweight
I was going to
Champion.
say Murdoch, and that's. I was going to talk about that because let's all talk about Murdoch real quick. What did Murdoch do in the WWE? Did you ever think that he would go somewhere and be a heavyweight champion? Because the way they booked him, not the way he was, because of the way he was booked in that tag team. I forget, Caden Murdoch. It was Caden Murdoch.
Yeah, Caden Murdoch. And like I know for a fact that Trevor Murdoch had so much love and respect for Lance Cade. God rest his soul. Like passed too young and stuff like that, and like just to see how much he went from being in the tag team match and then tag team like wrestler and then splitting away from Lance Cade and then being like having like somewhat of a run in Impact TNA and then like haven't really seen much of him like
ever since he lost the
A
title.
lot of people like wondering what was next.
Didn't he lose the title to what's his name? Brody? What's Brodus? What's his name? Tyrus.
And as much as like Trevor Murdoch has been quite a NWA World Champ. He it's the 10 pounds of gold. It goes in the record books, and so many people have carried that title over the years. And Trevor Murdoch, he talks about how much that meant to him, especially because his mentor, Harley Race, carried it.
Yeah. And like you said, the NWA has been posting it the past couple of days. They've shared it multiple times. The the 10 pounds of gold, the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, that belt means something. I'm not even like, Paulie knows this. I am not the wrestling historian. That is the man over here. Paulie can tell you a obscure wrestling fact if you ask 90% of the time. And I know that belt is top shit still. Like, it's still top shit. That belt, the name it holds, the National Wrestling Alliance Heavyweight Championship, that belt has been held by greats. And it just to, like you said, to even be on that list is to put you up there in the upper echelon, in my opinion. And I'm going to use that beautiful segue to talk about Cleveland's own National Wrestling Alliance Heavyweight Champion of the World, EC3, will be putting his title on the line against Tom Latimer in a no limits match. We don't have to guess what that one is. Pretty self-explanatory.
Now, Tom Latimer, when I sat down and talked to him, he said to me, come Samhain, props for you, Mike, for pronouncing it right. Because a lot of people think it's Samhain. It's Samhain,
said,
people.
look,
So
and
props for Mike for it.
I learned it because I knew we were going to be talking about it. But let's be 100% honest.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it reads. It reads Samhain.
No,
It does not read
it
Samhain at all.
No,
So,
no, trust me.
but it's
The
ingrained.
minute,
It is now Samhain forever. It will forever be Samhain. I know how to
Yes.
pronounce it.
Until next year.
As
Nope.
yeah, but as Tom Latimer has said to me, as I was sitting down talking to him, if you watch the video that he posted, as well as the NWA, come Samhain, it's going to be, it's Halloween season, spooky season, but it's going to be hell come to Cleveland, and he's going to be the new hero of Cleveland. That's his words. He's going to be the hero of Cleveland by dethroning EC3. This isn't the first time that Latimer and EC3 battle one-on-one. So now those two, if you were in attendance for at the XO Pro, I know Mike was, Tom Latimer has laid out EC3 with a chair.
I was going to say, that's where I was going to go next. Yeah, he came out, right? And Paulie, I know you weren't there, but he came out and he was really cool during his match. He came out super face. It was great. And he shook my hand, went around the ring, did that whole thing. And then middle of the match, at the middle of the main event, he comes out with a chair and just beats the dog shit out of EC3 and then gives us all the finger. And I was like, this guy was so nice earlier. Fuck that. You know me, Paulie. I'm Cleveland all day. I got EC3 for show.
And let's not forget, not to mention, Brickhouse, Camille, is going to be in Latimer's corner to
That's
be
true.
his second pair of eyes.
That's true. I mean, EC3, I'm
So
sure will
know.
have some backup as well. I'm sure he won't, he'll have somebody watching or at least paying attention. So if she starts getting involved, something can, somebody can have his back. At least that's what I'm hoping, because I hope the man doesn't get done dirty in hometown. I hope, he's able to get some of this hometown friends to maybe make some, show up and have his back. Us Clevelanders, we stick together. You know what I'm saying? So.
And like rightfully so. I mean, you never know what's going to happen. EC3 could have backup. He may go alone. You never know. But like I said, Tom Latimer, second pair of eyes, when he gives his wife the wink and she gives him that smile, he knows he has won the big one. He stated that he didn't throw the TV title, that he just basically fought every single people that was in front of him to earn that shot for the NWA World's title.
Okay. And I mean, I do know he was the TV champion at one point, and now it belongs to Big Strong Mims, but he set his eyes on a bigger prize, so to speak, and he's going after the 10 pounds of gold. He wants his name on that list.
I think anybody and everybody who's in the NWA wants to be the world's heavyweight champion. So if you have your shot, you have to take it. And having Camille at ringside, it's an insurance policy for him. I think you could be looking at a very sad night for EC3.
I sure hope not. But again, I'm only a couple weeks invested in NWA, so the really only connection I have towards EC3 is that I watched Derek Bateman on NXT. As soon as I found out that he was from Cleveland, Ohio, I strapped my horse to it. Let's go. I'm riding with him. Let's do this. And then he went from, Derek Bateman to Ethan Carter III, and now he's fucking EC3 with the CYN, baby. And he's doing the damn thing, and it worked in his favor because, like you said, he's on that ever elusive list as the NWA World Heavyweight Champion.
And that's something else that you hit on that I think is getting lost in the shuffle here. For EC3, he's been there and done that. He's been a world champion in multiple promotions. He knows what this is like. for Tom Latimer, this is all new territory, and you don't know what somebody's going to do in that situation until they get in that situation. Do you rise to the occasion, or do you crack under the pressure? And we're going to find out.
Well, that's the whole, the fear acronym. What is it? Face everything and rise, or, run away. That's your choice, man. You're either going to step up or you're going to get run over. So it's a big opportunity for Tom Latimer. I will give him that. So this week at the Masonic Temple, NWA Samhein, I believe front row has been sold out. General admission tickets are still available. You don't get to sit in the cool seats anymore, but we're not sitting in the cool seats. We're all hanging out together. I'm going with my boy Tommy, and Zoe might show up. I haven't decided. She hasn't decided yet. She has a softball game. Slamzilla is kicking it at Victory Park this week, Paulie.
Let's hear it for Slamzilla.
I hope my daughter hits a home run this week. That would be sweet.
I want to.
But speaking of which, if you can't make it to the show, folks, you can order the pay-per-view on Fight TV. Sign up for Fight TV, order the pay-per-view. Yeah, no, you're good. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I just want people to know, hey, this is NWA. I mean, they just announced being a part of the CW network. This is a big thing to look into. Billy Corgan was at XO Pro to announce territories are making a return. Folks, if you are ever in the area, or if you want to make a road trip, get your tickets now. Or if you can't make it, support it by ordering the pay-per-view. Go to NWA website, get your tickets, and then if you can't, get some merch to support any of the guys who are on the card. Or if you want to support the NWA, by all means, get some merch to represent the NWA.
Agree. Josh said it better. Couldn't say it better myself. This weekend, the 28th, Temple Live, Cleveland Masonic. We'll be there for NWA. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to be back. I want to talk a little Mega. I'm not sure if Paulie's seen the cards yet, but we're going to go over these teams, and we're going to get some predictions from Paulie, because I want to know, he knows who these wrestlers are, and so we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. I got Yo Paulie with me. I got the man with the bow tie, Sans bow tie this evening, Joshua Gjonaj. And boys, I want to talk a little Mega, because I got to talk. I'm going to talk a little bit more later tonight with Dio Salvador, who's going to be joining me later on after I get off the phone with you guys here. But I want to know your thoughts. Josh, you probably have more thoughts, but I want to hear Paulie's thoughts. He's not as in depth to the Mega as you are, as the commentator. You've seen these teams, Paulie. We have War Games matches, 2 of them. Team Xavier versus Team Tim, and Team Ashton versus Team Cash Inc. Let's just talk about the veteran OG meat and taters team, because Brandon Xavier, the Ohio Chief, has selected some of the most prominent, viral, big, meaty men that he could assemble from this group of talent, this pool.
There's going to be a lot of meat slapping in this event. Just the fact that you have Big Mo and you have 2 rings. I really hope to God that they reinforce the rings. And I know we hear this cliche all the time. I genuinely am afraid for the collapsibility of one of these rings, because this is, 5 on each side, 10 men?
Big Mo,
and one of them's Big Mo?
Big Mo and Paxton is easily 600 pounds.
It's scary.
Those are 2 big men. And then you add Tyreek Kalam to the mix.
Absolutely.
Not to be a slouch. He's 6'6", 300 pounds himself. I'm not sure how much he weighs. If I overweighed you, I'm sorry, brother. But
I don't think you're going to overweigh him.
I'm not saying it like that. He might be a solid 275. You know what I'm saying? But he's a big fucking boy, dude. And then you have the man who has been absolutely disrespected by the Infinite Man, Nick Barney. I know Nick's got skills, but Nick is not a wrestler. Nick is a referee. Again, a lot of solid backup. Solid backup.
You're saying that Nick's not a wrestler, he's a referee. That works to his advantage.
I agree.
Who would better know how to skirt the rules than the guy who has been tasked with enforcing them for this long?
110%.
That's your X factor right there in the whole match.
And then,
and not to forget what we talked about, Mike. Sorry to cut you off.
we
saw on the Mega exclusive what Tim did to Nick Barney by smashing his arm in a locker door. And Nick, he said to me that by November 11th, for one more battle, 2 Ring Chaos, get your tickets while you can, folks. Cheap plug-in. But Nick has said to me that by November 11th, he's going to be somewhat 100%.
Yes, he's out of the sling. We saw in Turmoil this past week. He's out of the sling, and he's pissed off. Like I said, that's another thing. It's another X factor point. Nick's been disrespected by Tim to the point where he doesn't feel like he has anything else to fucking lose. He just wants to fight. A man's most dangerous, in my opinion, when he has nothing to lose.
Exactly. And just out of curiosity, and Josh, you might be able to expound on this. Is there a reason why we can't get my man Brandon Xavier some protein before these Turmoil shows? Because he's always eating something at the end of these shows. And I don't understand that.
It's
Can we not get him
my
some
favorite
chicken
part
before the show?
It's probably my favorite part, especially when Mo tried to dip his finger in the pie.
See, the thing is with Brandon Xavier, he's the general manager, he's the matchmaker. Let the man eat his food.
He's does hungry. What he wants.
Yeah, he does what he wants. He's on the job. I'm sure he's
Ohio Chief.
Yeah, the Ohio Chief. Just O's in the sky, everyone. O's in the sky. But like Brandon Xavier, yes, he's building the appetite. But yes, never sleep on what is going to be a cross for the guy who's been a thorn in Mega's side, Tim.
That's exactly where I was going next. And I mean, while Brandon has assembled what seems to be the Mega Championship Wrestling Dream Team, because I didn't even get to mention the last participant, announced by Brandon Xavier himself, 440 member. You've seen him all over the place. He's been to Mega a bunch of times. Gregory Irons, the last member of Team Xavier. I'm pumped that's a solid team. Again, vet what seems to be like a dream team. As we all know, the Ohio Chief has hired TIM as the new head trainer at Mega Championship Wrestling. In doing so, TIM gets to see these men on the daily basis. He has hand-selected his team. And while I don't dare say that they are young, they are most certainly not green. The Bull Rope Bully Mike Michaels, one half of the former tag team The Believers, tag team champion, now turned bully, dominating force.
And not to mention, Mike Michaels does have some history with Brandon Xavier. They had a bull rope match.
He also has with Tyreek Kalam.
Well,
exactly.
Yes.
So and great
Professor.
Pick. Always an X factor in my opinion. And I'm just throwing it out here. I don't know if the professor listens to the show, but if he does, I just want to remind you that I was owed a detention. So please don't forget my slip, sir. Because I love the professor, but I get on his nerves. It's probably my favorite thing to do.
The professor is giving Mike Michaels some guidance. Yes, he lost to Brandon Xavier last year, but that was last year. Mike Michaels now has someone who's going to guide him. Who's Professor knows the Reject Academy of Big Mo and Tyreek Kalam.
Exactly. So, he's got some inside he knows.
Yes.
And then we also saw Big Mo and Tyreek Kalam on Thursday with a little handshake, let him know I know we got our issues. I got your back. You got mine. That's fine. Perfect. But now let's move on to the next members of this team. Let's go Teston Gates right off the rip. Stud has been lately on turmoil. The first time I believe I saw him was when we were at the Lake County Captains game. That was my very first match where I saw Teston Gates compete. Astounded. Great competitor, great athlete, great wrestler. Young, rookie. And I say that not in the, a crap way. Young rookie classman. He's he's at training every night. He gets to see it. Tim sees what he's capable of that we haven't seen maybe yet because we've only seen a small sample size. Another member, I've only seen this man one time, Riker. He came out with the Professor and absolutely dismantled Tariq Kalam. And then Tariq came back and they battled all throughout the arena. And then the last two members, one of which I'm going to give a mega shout out to because he deserves it for the heart that is inside of his chest. Brazzi Suave and Cisco Stucio from Chambea. Brazzi Suave, if you haven't been paying attention, has just been calling out anybody. He's been destroyed by Mo multiple weeks in a row to the point where I don't know how this man's chest hasn't caved in yet. I've seen Big Mo slap people up close and personal, and it is not a pretty sight. But he takes it. Granted, he lost his match with Big Mo. He challenged Big Mo. All right. It's that old schoolyard proverb, jail proverb, whatever you don't want to be fucked with. You go after the biggest bully in the yard. You go after the biggest guy in the yard. And that's exactly what Brazzi Suave did. He went after Big Mo. He challenged him to a one-on-one match on Turmoil. He got annihilated.
Oh, okay,
but he kicked out.
You definitely
Paulie
go after the biggest guy
times.
In the yard, but you got to beat him. Otherwise, you're just another guy.
And look, you know this too well as a Browns fan. Little victories, moral victories. 4 times he was slammed by Big Mo or suplexed by Big Mo. It wasn't until he was sentoned by Big Mo. It wasn't until the Lariat God threw down the Lariat that Brazzi wasn't able to kick out. But he kicked out 4 times, Paulie, of something that he shouldn't have kicked out of. So it's the heart factor that I see from him and the toughness. And again, small sample size. We've only seen him in a couple matches.
All I'm going to tell you is, I'm going to say is this, Paulie, be careful because Brazzi might Photoshop you in a photo, and you don't want that because, he's been Photoshopping Big Mo.
He Photoshopped Brandon today.
Yes, he Photoshopped the matchmaker, the GM, the captain of Team Xavier, Brandon Xavier.
Over his knee, Paulie, giving him a spanking.
The mass of the grapefruits that he has decided to post that says a lot. And I'm not here I'm not here to pick favorites or anything because I know it's going to be a hell of a match between Team Tim, Team Xavier, but there's a lot of bad blood coming into that, and it's all going to go down on November 11th, Veterans Day.
100%.
It's going to be a war.
I can't wait. I can't wait for this match. Like I said, I'm not picking sides of this. This is one of those matches. Brandon likes to do it to me. I say it every time we talk about a mega show. Brandon, and granted, this is his match. He's in this match. So he puts me in matches. Chris Onyx versus Ashton Day at Back to Business. I didn't want to pick a winner. I'm there for both of them. So it's this match. I'm here for all 10 of these guys, dude. This is going to be a fantastic, fantastic match. And this is just one of 2 War Games matches. That's the beauty of this. We're going to get another one of these. We're going to get another one of these, Paulie.
So you're doing one of these with 10 of the best in Mega. And then you're going to do 10 more.
Yes, sir. And let's
So
start it off.
20,
Let's start
20
it off
individuals
hot.
are going to enter this match eventually.
Well, no. There's 2 separate War Games matches.
2 separate matches, but you're going to have 2 of these matches, 10 participants per match. So you're going to see 20 people.
Yes.
Just through these 2 matches alone, you get 20 individuals. That's
and we have multiple matches afterwards as well as multiple all titles are on the line. Oh no, I take that back. Tag team is not on the line. But in this War Games match, we will have Team Cash Inc., which is Ken Vasion, Nick Nero, which was a surprising addition to Cash Inc. for me, Gavin and Skylar, and the Brass Knuckles champion Chris Onyx, going against Team Day, who we didn't know who was going to be on Team Ashton for a couple weeks. We knew Cash Inc. going in, but Ashton has selected some studs himself, Paulie. Like you said, you thought they were the best before. But then Ashton picks the Mega Tag Team Champions. PME has joined Team Day. I don't even know what to call him, the rookie sensation. Everybody from Mega vets to backstage people that I've talked to other wrestlers have said that this kid's got it. Aaron Holloway. I've seen him perform 2 matches. The man is good. Good. I would love to have him on the podcast. Get to know him a little bit. Like I said, super rookie. I think he's like 19 or something, 20. Somebody told me he's super young.
Not 19.
Yeah, he's young. So and he's good already. So I'm really excited to see him. And then the Queen, Sebastian LaShawn, is on Team Day, who has also had multiple problems with Ken. They've had their little beefs and their squabbles going back and forth. As we all know, Ashton, who formerly with Cash Inc., it's this match, again, so much little turmoil in between all these people. PME took the titles from Cash Inc., Gavin and Skylar, the tag team titles. So
not to mention, one thing to mention, Aaron Holloway rejected the offer to be a part of Cash Inc.
Agreed. Yes.
And then the last competitor who has become a new problem of Cash Inc., Sebastian LaShawn.
Yes, 100%.
Now, I'm excited to see, because like a lot of people might think it's a little odd pick for Ashton for picking Sebastian. And while I agree with that, but there's one thing that Sebastian wants, and that's to get the hands of Ken Vasion. And if it's smacking around Ken, I'm all for it, because you know how I feel about Cash Inc. Mike, I'm sorry to show the bias right here. Even though I'm not supposed to.
I say nothing bad about Cash Inc., and I say nothing bad about Team Day. This is another match where I just want everybody to have a great time.
He's going
to hold up a sign that says, I hope both teams do well.
And don't get me wrong. I'll give credit where credit is due.
All these guys.
I'll give credit where credit is due. Cash Inc., yes, they've been unstoppable. Even when they had Ashton. And then having the newest member of Christian Napier, it's something else. And, like I said, me and Ken, we don't get along. Ever since I joined Mega, we've never seen eye to eye. He's sent Skylar after me, giving me the little stink eye. Same thing with Chris Onyx. Like I said,
me and Chris
I'm not
Onyx,
trying to show so much of a favoritism.
I don't know what it is. Ever since that first show where I saw Chris Onyx, he did nothing. He came out as a bodyguard type for Cash Inc. I sent Ken a message afterwards, and I was like, yo, who is that? And that's my bodyguard, Chris Onyx. Watch him. And I said, okay, I will. And I have been. And I know you can say boo, but the man's got it, dude. He hasn't disappointed, not once.
I'm not gonna argue with you on that. I'm not gonna argue
rising.
Because as well, Onyx has a undefeated streak going on, and he's got the Brass Knuckles title. Brandon Xavier, I asked him, what does that Brass Knuckles title mean to you, since you are a man who held that title for 4 times in 4 different reigns? And he said, prepare to fight anyone at any time. And you see, Chris Onyx took it from Giovanni, and then he goes to our last Mega show defeating a former Mega champion of Ashton Day.
Yeah, no, during that match, man, if you could have seen my face, like if you had camera style, I was Undertaker guy. I was like, I didn't know what happened. Like I was shocked. Again, not that it's like Josh said, Brass Knuckles champion is essentially the training championship that shows that you're doing the best in the training. Not that you're the best, but it's the belt. It's the training belt. It's a turmoil belt. It's defended on turmoil, and it shows that you're fucking taking it serious and kicking ass. And for him to come out and just get a pin, a clean pin. It wasn't a Cash Inc. involved victory. It was a clean pin over a former mega heavyweight champion. He got the stones. It shows he's got the stones in mind, but he can cut the mustard.
Well, I think you're burying the lead there, though, because if he pinned Ashton Day and Ashton is a team captain in this match, there's your favorite right there, because you've already got a dub over the team captain. And I mean, Cash Inc. has basically been trying to take over Mega for as long as I can remember. So this just seems like an easy way for them to stamp their Cash Inc. symbol all over Mega once and for all.
100%. And like I said, I feel like if this happens to go Cash Inc.'s way, they could try to use this as leverage to go back against PME for the tag team championships, to go against the outcome. I'm not sure if it's going down at one ring or 2 Ring Chaos. I know that Bryson Teller is going to be fighting Alex Daniels. I'm not sure when. That hasn't been announced for this event, but it might be at the next one. But I know that is the next defense for Bryson Teller. But does that put...
And speaking of Bryson, I was going to say, speaking of Bryson, Ashton Day, that was Ashton's first initial pick.
Yep.
Was going to be Bryson Teller. But Bryson said, hey, I don't know if I'm going to face Alex Daniels or not, but you always got my support. That shows what Bryson and Ashton have much respect for one another. Yes,
Agreed.
they had their differences, but ever since Bryson dethroned Ashton, and now that Bryson's, the captain, as I want to say, and like is moving the ship on its own for this year, it shows that Ashton Day has has gained some respect from people in the back, and for him to pick PME, I wasn't really that surprised because of how much Ashton has helped PME get those tag team titles
lately. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and that's because at previous events, Cash Inc. has made their presence known in Ashton's match. And it just so happened that when Ashton made his presence known during their match, it was for their tag team titles. And turnabout is fair play.
Yeah, and speaking of which, Skylar and Gavin, sorry, my stomach just turned a little bit because I had to say it, but they won that fatal 4-way elimination.
They get another shot. They get another shot. I forgot all about that. They did. They get another shot automatically at PME for them tag team titles. So if they were to pick up a win here, that definitely gives them, going forward, the better chance.
Yeah.
A couple quick other things that we'll talk on real quick is like I said, almost every title's on the line. The Fighting Spirit Championship's on the line. Turmoil standout El Tic Taco. He's got a new move. He's calling it the Talk Bottom. Is going up against Lemmy Sandemus for the Fighting Spirit Championship. It's been a while since we've seen Lemmy, and like I said, Taco's been all over Turmoil, just kind of killing it lately. But Lemmy, Fighting Spirit champion, never counting him out. And of course, you can never discount the power of the fucking Skittles. All right.
There's a lot of intangibles there.
I mean, there's one thing about TikTok. I mean, a lot of people see him as a tag team individual, but now he's riding solo for this event, taking on LSD, who has beaten Bryson Teller for that title. And
exactly.
Now, there is a big responsibility. A lot of people always, and even myself included, Mike, we talked about this. How is LSD going to survive in this match. He always finds some way to get to retain, and that's another thing, to have that responsibility with that Fighting Spirit Championship. You have to have that fighting spirit inside of you, and you have to always making sure that if guys are going to watch your tapes and study your moves, you always got to one up them. So you got to throw them off with a loop by adding new moves in your repertoire.
I agree with that statement. I'm going to use that to segue into the next match, actually. This one is one of the two solo, and I'm excited for all the matches. I always am. But there's always a couple more that I get super excited about because I like the competitors or whatever. This match is a solo match for a title that I'm really, really excited about. The Infinity Championship is on the line as my boy, Butchie B. Cannon, goes one-on-one with the Gift, Jason Kincaid. If you're not familiar with Jason Kincaid, get familiar. He's very, very good. He is a great, great, great technical wrestler. Paulie would love him. Him and Alex Daniels was a phenomenal match. And he wouldn't look, Paulie, if you look at Jason Kincaid, he wouldn't look like he's that like a technical wrestler like he is. He looks like he would, suicide dive it. He looks like he'd hang out with Ron Mathis on the weekends. So, but his bald head, his head's tattooed. He looks sweet, but he gets in there and he's a technical wizard. Look him up, Paul. He's great. Absolutely. Him and Alex Daniels was a phenomenal match.
Jason Kincaid has been everywhere if you look at what he brings to the table. He's been traveling around the world, and for Butchie B to have that
let's go
big of a matchup.
That's
for having that big of a matchup, he was Wrestler of the Week, as Mega posted on their socials that he was Wrestler of the Week. And
he deserved it. He almost got it again last week at RSW because he defended the Mega Infinity Championship, Paulie, successfully against Jake Ely.
And that's the thing. Butchie B, as much as Bryson had said to CeeLo at the last show, or at the go home show to our last event, he was saying that CeeLo was holding back individuals like Butchie, Raven, Sebastian. Look at what's going on with some of those members of the Megachurch. Sebastian, part of Team Day. Butchie B taking on the Gift, Jason Kincaid. Things cannot get anything better
Calloway
than that.
on Team Xavier. It again, I don't see that how Dios, has claimed that the mega church is being held back, because all these guys, all these members of the mega church are doing big things in this pay-per-view. It's not like they're sitting on the sidelines doing nothing. So, and that's my other match that I am really excited for, to be honest, is the Lost Prodigy, Dio Salvador, going one-on-one with the good one, Pastor CeeLo. Dio stole the collection plate. We haven't seen it since. We haven't seen it since. He has said, I believe on Turmoil, that he has thrown it in the trash. CeeLo couldn't find it in a video that he posted today. He went looking for it, could not locate the collection plate. But I know that both of these men on November 11th are going to go to war. This is.
Can you imagine the history in that collection plate that CeeLo has carried with him from location to location, from city to city, spreading the good word? How can you do such a heinous thing to the good pastor? He wipes the floor with him.
He stole a euro from me, so I'm still a little heartbroken from that. I haven't seen that euro since, guys, so I don't know where that euro went. I'm a little upset about that.
So I've given to the collection plate, and I'm a big loyalist of the mega church. I support. So I'm on the fence, because when I seen Dios, what I see when I look into his eyes is somebody that doesn't care. Again, he looks like he's out to prove his point. He's good. Again, Paulie. Last event, it was a triple threat match. Butchie B, TIM, and Dio Salvador was just interjected into the Infinity Championship triple threat match, and he put on a show. So for him to be going against Pastor CeeLo, I'm really, really excited for this match.
Respect to Dios, but you have to imagine the headspace of the good pastor. He's going to be looking for revenge, which, if I'm not mistaken, isn't really something that a pastor is supposed to be looking for. So it's going to be kind of a conflict in his head
Exactly.
the whole time.
Is he going to forgive the lost prodigy?
Supposed to.
So we'll see. Get your tickets now. Get your tickets now. November 11th. We will be live at Lorain County Community College Fieldhouse. I always mess it up.
The LCC, baby.
Yeah,
Yes,
LC3. We will be live at LC3 for Mega Championship Wrestling. 2 ring chaos, 1 more battle. And doors open at 4:30. Bells at 5.
And not to mention,
sold out.
folks.
Josh will be there.
Folks, yes, indeed. Not to forget to mention, I will definitely be there because I'll be calling the action. But also, make sure you go to Mega Championships Facebook page to see every single video and to see what every match is going to happen. Like it, share it. Make sure you tune in on Thursday Turmoils to see what is going down on Thursday Turmoils. See what kind of sandwich Brandon Xavier brings with.
That's true. See what
food he wants to bring.
I mean, that post turmoil, that's probably one of my favorite things is always seeing what he's got to munch on. So I'm
hoping for chicken teriyaki next week.
Hey, maybe we'll talk to him. Hibachi style. Boys,
you never know.
I want to thank you so much again for joining me. I appreciate you guys both so much. It was so nice to have the voices of 2 of my favorite independent wrestling companies out here with me, talking about some NWA and, of course, Mega Championship Wrestling. Josh, I will see you multiple times in the next couple of weeks, buddy. I can't wait. Paulie, I saw you.
That sounded like a threat, by the way.
Paulie, I saw you today.
It also sounded like a threat.
I love you both very much. I hope you guys have a great night. Coming up next, I'm going to have an interview with the Lost Prodigy himself, Dio Salvador. Like Josh said, make sure to get over to Mega Championship Wrestling's Facebook, social pages. Oh, they're on all of them. TikTok, X, all of it. As well as Paulie, Josh. Follow us all. And hopefully we'll see you at the next show.